Guys, we're back on form this week as we finish off the building from hell by adding in a cute little Spoopy ghost train around the back of it. I mean, no beach park's complete without one, right? Hey up you lot, welcome back to Beachy Point. Thanks for coming back, and especially after last week with this monstrosity that we put in. But hey, here we are in Planet Coaster and we are having fun. So this is Beachy Point from the top. So far we've done the entrance area, we've also done this S&S Free Fly, we've done the Woody, and of course we have done the indoor log flume. It's a beachside park, so we are definitely taking aim at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, and whilst we are taking aim at Blackpool, we need to turn our attentions to the back end of this building because we have a ghost train to do. Yeah, there she is. It's a nice simple affair, this one. I don't want this to be massive, I don't want this to be grand, I don't want this to be this big spectacle. It's just a ghost train. So we come out of the station and we come around the back through here, and then we're going to come up to the next level. We're going to do a couple of twists and turns. We're going to do a dive down and a dive back up, and then we're going to come back down to the station. It's really simple. It just needs kitting out with lots of spoopy doopy stuff. So it's a nice simple build this week, and I am actually going in this week with a bit of inspiration. I kind of know what I want for this one. We'll talk about that in a moment. I do have also an extra couple of rides that I've added in. Don't know if I'm going to get to do that this episode. We shall find out. So I will waste no more time. Let's get on with it. See you in a minute. Oh, you guys, we are having a way better time with this week. And I mean, it might not look it from the outside. It's just a box. And from the inside, it's a bit of a mess. But trust me, it's coming together quite nicely. There's quite a bit of inspiration firing off this week. I'm really enjoying this one. And I mean, we know that Planet Coaster scale is massive and it's difficult to work with. So there are plenty of windows as walls and lots of thin panel walls and stuff. But hey, it's actually working. Now, I didn't want to utilize double height right across the ghost train. I just didn't want to do it. It's not the thing to do. So what I've done here is the room up here, and there's a room over here, and then everywhere else there's a bit of dead space. It's funny. But that's because darkness is our friend in a ghost train. Like, you could probably get away with a ghost train just being in the pitch black the entire time and it would still be scary because it's the whole sensory deprivation thing. And remember, this is an amusement park ghost train. This is not a theme park ghost train. So we just need to have that in mind. So the station here then is coming together quite nicely. This lower beam is going to represent where there's going to be a bit of a lower ceiling, and that's where I can put some lights and effects and whatever. We're actually going for a little bit of a Barry's Amusements ghost train. I'm sure it's Barry's Amusement. I'm sure that's what it is. Anyway, there's this team that pulled together this really awesome looking ghost train, and I'm kind of going for that vibe in the station. And I've got the beams and stuff in here, and the planks that are going to have a gap, and there's going to be stuff that's going to be underneath here, and there'll be lighting and whatever, just to give it a bit of ambience and whatever. But yeah, you can see there's triggered effects and whatever. I have literally outdone the prestige on this one. It's like 1200, and it's a really crappy ghost train. So inside here, I'm starting to pull together the elements of realism that you guys would expect. Now, forgive the fancy, it's a bit jank, but I have started to put in the girders and whatever that would be supporting this ceiling, and then this would be a low ceiling, and it opens up into a higher ceiling here, where you can then have lights and whatever that are shining onto the effect here. But ultimately, it's a graveyard. It's just lots of gravestones that have been put around, and then it needs to be like this feeling of being outside. And then you've just got the front of a building as you go into it, right? And then inside here you have just a really long shining style corridor, and at the end of it there's just some stuff that kicks off. I kind of quite like the fact that the steam and the smoke that we've got in the log flume area is actually coming through here. I'm okay with that. I'm not mad. But yeah, so you've got a bit of a shining effect going on in here. Then you come through this way. I definitely need to sort that clearance out. That's going to cause some lawsuits. And then we come into another room here, and we just got like lots of clutter and stuff. Of course, I still need to kit this out with much more detail. This is just like a first pass at what I think is the theming and the decoration of the decor of the room and whatever. But you come to the end here where you've got the grandfather clock, and then you come into a really dark room, and that's by design. So this bit is supposed to be dark, and then you've got the lightning effects that you've seen me do before. So there's all the lighting effects there. You'll see those in the dark, and then we come to the next. Oh, for God's sake, come on! And then you come to the next room here, right? So this is just another scene that's been put together as another room, but the fire on the screen itself, that's all triggered. So as you come in, that fire will start up. Hopefully now that the trains have gone, you should see it disappear. And then there's just some other animatronics and stuff that would fire off in here. So you've got the skeleton in the corner, and you've got the chair that's like rocking, and all of that sort of stuff is in here. And then you come into the drop down bit on the outside, and then you come into a more crypty style scene. So I just put some video walls up here. If you're wondering where I get the videos from, it's Videasy. That's, you can just download it as MP4, and then you can convert them into WebM for the game. But I just wanted this idea of this foresty type effect. I think I might use some sound effects, you know, wind sound effects and stuff in here, just to give it a bit of a vibe. And then it goes into complete pitch blackness, pitch darkness, and that's by design, because as you then turn the corner, you then have all of these light effects that go off, and you get greeted with a video screen which has got the witch. You've seen me use the witch before, so it's the witch that reveals herself, and then it comes back into the graveyard just to finish off the ride. So I mean, I'm digging it. I really do like how this is coming together. I don't know what I'm going to do on the outside yet. I don't quite know what the decor is. All I know is that this is the height of the building. It's going to come down this way as well, and it's going to need to have some sort of a low canopy style roof here. And then I know I'm going to have some like really bold lettering, probably lit up lettering, again exactly the same as the Barry's Amusement one, because I just like how sort of clean and modern that looks. So we're going for that effect, but I don't know what decor I'm going to go for on the outside yet, and also I don't know what the decor on the side is going to look like either. I have deliberately left a gap here, partly because there's lots of stuff that's clipping through from the log flume, but also partly because you would need to have some sort of corridor at the back for you to be able to evacuate from. So I have put in a couple of fire doors. So there's a fire door there. There's one there that comes out into the, well, it would come out into the queue, but actually we might actually leave this as another corridor, because this would also be used for storage space, right? So this would be like maintenance and whatever that would be in here. So I'm going to do that a little bit later on. And then I've got another couple of fire doors going through here, and I think there's one. Was there one here? I think I removed it actually. So yeah, that's what we're going for. Outside here, then the queue line is relatively simple. This is going to be such an attraction. I hate track rides and Planet Coaster, I really do. But they're also fun to pull together. So this queue is not going to be sufficient for what we want. The throughput's going to be trash, but it's fine. We will deal with that somehow. But I am just using the Spooky Pack stuff, the Spooky Pack fences and whatever that are all on here. Don't quite know what the path texture is going to be. I might just continue this path texture along. That's what Blackpool does, but I don't think Blackpool's got specific path textures for their ghost train. I'll need to check, because we are of course trying to copy that. So the ride, like I say, does have a lot of effects and triggers and stuff going on in here, and the Prestige has gone a little bit AWOL. There's no work that's been done over here, by the way. I don't think I'm going to get to do it this week. I just don't have the time to pull it off. So they're there because I need to know what the rest of the area is going to feel like, but it's probably going to be a future endeavour. So anyway, that's what we've got. I am pretty much waffling now, so I might as well just shut up and carry on, right? I'll see you in a minute. Hiya guys, I am willing to call this one a win. I feel so much better about the build this week than I did last week, and I mean, it's a proper spoopy doopy ghost train that's in a beachside theme park. It's exactly what it needs to be. It's not going to win any awards for its exterior, but it does what it should, and I am proper chuffed with it. It's turned out exactly as I thought it was going to. Now, of course, the outside here is not done. There's lots of big stuff that's coming that's going to make all of this come to life, but what I wanted to do is just bring a plaza area out the front here. I did check Blackpool. They do have a stylized entrance for their ghost train. They've also got a health and safety nightmare in the fountains and the streams and stuff that run through it. We're not going to do that in this park. We're just going to keep it simple. So I will touch this up when the extra bits are in, but this is it. This is it for now. This is the exterior exactly as I wanted it to be, with the lighting and stuff on here. I did toy with the idea of having it changing colours and stuff, but that just felt a little bit tacky. This is not a tacky ghost train, but it's also not a themed ghost train. Anyway, let's change the lighting so we can see the inside. I'm hoping the music isn't going to get claimed. It's actually from Thorpe Park. It's one of Fright Night's themes. I've used it in a previous park and I showcased it as well, so I don't think it's going to get claimed. But this is the station anyway. That's also a pillar. This is the station, nicely lit. I like how this turned out, actually. This is decent. By the way, fair warning, there is some really bad camera work that's going to come up because there's some really tight spaces to get into. I'm not even sorry. So we've got the first scene here, then this is the graveyard scene. It's actually just doesn't need to be any more than this. I have put some smoke and stuff in here. You know, it'd be like the high level, low level, non-dispersing smoke. But what I have done, though, is I've made sure that the inside here, it's got all of the usual stuff that you will find from a Chacho style ghost train build or in a dark ride build, in the sense that you have the downlighters that are blinders, so all of this stuff up here would be hidden by the fact that these lights are shining down. So even though we can see them in game, in real life, all of this stuff up here would be hidden. And if you look carefully, I have started to put all of the back of house stuff in, you know, like all the fans and the aircon units and stuff. So this is the entrance to the main hall, or to the Great Hall scene. It's simple, does what it needs to do. I didn't put a light on here, and that's deliberate. That's because you've got a light that shines from behind. You can see the purple haze. If I put a light down here, it gets rid of that haze, so I've just kept it as it is. And then this is the Grand Hall scene. I'm just going to move out of the way so that we don't get in the way of the cars. Again, I've just touched up with this with a little bit of the industrial style stuff. The park would have made an effort to hide stuff, but there's some stuff you just can't hide, and that's okay. So all of the beams and whatever, and the ladders and stuff all on here, it's all good. It's all good. And then there is the shining style corridor. That's a light bleed from another scene. Can't help that, I'm afraid. But yeah, I like this. I like this whole scene. I did go ahead and raise the height of the door frame here as they go through. That has exposed this mechanism. Again, can't change that. I did look to see whether I could re-profile the track or whatever. It's just not going to work. Then we come into the extension of the Great Hall scene, and we've just got stuff on the shelf here, and then we've just look down a longer corridor, and then you've just got the stuff on the left hand side here. So this is all like some of it is triggered up, and there's stuff that jumps out at you, and there's lights and sounds and all sorts that go on. I love it. Like, it's just proper ghost trainy. Then this bit here is the dark bit. There's the dude that's waiting to jump out at you. And then we've got this. Now, I like the fact that the blue is a bleed through from the dark ride that's next door, and actually it gives it a bit of ambience. It's actually a bit of like ambience for free, so we'll go with that. But I did have visions of this area being completely dark, but because this was lit in blue, I actually decided to put this stuff down here, and it now just all makes sense. And it kind of goes some way to hiding some of this stuff here as well, like the electric boxes and whatever, and the fence and stuff actually protects you from it, so it kind of serves a purpose, and I'm okay with that. Then we come into the living room scene. I like this scene, and I like how the ceiling is low, but it's also got the panels on it, so you can't actually see the stuff that's above it. Like, there would be loads of electrics and whatever that are in the ceiling here, and yeah, this just feels right. Oh, hello. Oh no, there we go. I did warn you that it was bad camera work. Yeah, so we've just got lots of stuff that's going on in here. Like this skeleton man over here it's going to jump out at you, and all of that stuff. It's just all the usual scares that you get. And then you come down this way. We know this bit already. This will be out in the daylight. And then we come through into the crypt scene. And the crypt scene, again, it has this blue bleed through from next door, and I quite dig it. I'm happy. I'm happy with it. And now that the ceiling is up and the videos and whatever are all in, it actually feels quite creepy in here. It just, yeah, a blue light always feels a bit creepy, doesn't it? Like, yes. Then we come through to the bit that's supposed to be pitch black. Now, it is a shame that we do have the bleed through on this bit, because my whole vision of here was it was supposed to be completely dark, and then this bookcase is supposed to just jump out at you from nowhere, and it's just supposed to be there. I wanted it to be a relic of maybe a leftover scene that was here before, and they've just left it. They just left it here, but because it fits. Maybe it's hiding electric cupboards or something. I don't know. Make something up. And then you've got this bit here where you've got the witch video that you've sort of like run towards. I like this, but again, this was supposed to be pitch black, but you can't make it so we'll just deal with what we've got. And then we come into the final grave scene. I didn't want to do the same scene as before, so I didn't want it to have the smoke in here. I didn't want it to have the trees and whatever. I actually wanted this to be a little bit more like bland. But the actual centerpiece of that is the guy that jumps out here and the smoke coming out of the tomb. So that's kind of what we're going for. Oh, and I just put in a cauldron as well, by the way, because it kind of needed a reason for the witch to exist. So that's what I've gone for here. This is how it looks from the night time, by the way, on the outside. Yeah, I like it. And in fact, the park itself does have lighting and stuff throughout. I've just not shown you the stuff. So maybe I'll do a proper tour of it sometime. So let's just go back into daytime so you can see. So we can have a look at the rest. So down here, all I've done is I've just covered it off with the haunted house flat roof stuff. Put the bins and whatever in, all of the safety signage. And then this bit, I actually decided to separate. I did decide that I was going to have these different textures in the end. I didn't want this one to continue around because it sort of like ruined the atmosphere a little bit. So I put in the planters and whatever just to separate the queue line from the house itself. And then I just put the entrance to the maintenance area in here. Now I didn't do in here because as you can probably tell, there's quite a lot of clipping and stuff in here, and it's quite a difficult space to work with. So I've just left it as a facsimile of a maintenance area. So you can just pretend that's in there. And then, of course, on the top, you've just got all of the HVAC units and stuff. This is probably way overkill. You definitely wouldn't need this for inside here. But because we're using a lot of stage smoke, you need some kind of ventilation in the event of an emergency. So that's kind of what this is here. It's more for emergency purposes than it would be for functional purposes. And then all along this side, I decided to use a spoopy roof. I did originally think it was just going to be a flat roof and you would just be done with it. But actually, it needed something. It needed some extra bits. And I didn't want it to be a completely flat roof. So that's why we've got the egresses and recesses and stuff going on in here. And yeah, it's turned out quite nice, actually. I'm going to spoil, by the way, what's coming next week now. Because you guys deserve it. No, not that. That's spoiling something else. There you go. That's what you're getting next week. If you can tell me in the comments what you think it is, then please do. In fact, you can tell because it actually shows up. But guys, this is how Beachy Point is looking so far, and I am really liking how this is happening. Actually, I think I've made the executive decision that we are going to expand into this space. I think it's needed, so that's all good. All of the coasters, by the way, are in here. Members, you've already got access to them. Wink, wink. But thank you for getting to the end of the video. Really do appreciate it. You know what to do. Leave a like, a comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you very much. We're going to go for a ride. I'll see you next week. Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye.